Hey YouTube, so I went to Uwharrie National Forest with the Going Coastal Jeep Club for Thanksgiving, and this is our last day out. And so usually Daniel is the last trail that we do on the last day, just because it's the most difficult one. If somebody was to break their Jeep, then hopefully they break it on the last day instead of the first day, so they only have like a limited amount of downtime. They still have to figure out how to get home, but at least they didn't like mess up the whole trip. So anyway, so we were going down the mountain. So basically, we were just at the summit, and you just saw the video footage of the summit. And it's kind of normal, like if you have people with you that can't do or won't do the face, to just kind of do the backside. So you do the backside and the slabs and the summit. So that's what we're doing. We are heading back down from the summit. And one thing I've said, like in some of the videos, maybe like a couple months ago, that you'll see here, that's 100% true, is normally it is a lot easier to go downhill than it is to go uphill, and mainly because you have gravity working on your side. And I believe that this video footage of us from the summit all the way to the base of Daniel is completely uncut, as in that like you'll see one continuous video of the entire trip, and not only will be um, a straight through clip of the entire trip uncut, but it also will involve most likely zero spotting. People will just be able to do everything perfectly. And so usually what ends up happening is most of the time when you're going downhill, since it makes things easier, it makes the trail easier. If you ever have the choice, and obviously you don't have the choice here on this trail, but you might have it on other trails. If you think the trail is a little bit hard, or like maybe a little bit harder than what you're expecting, then try to go down the hill instead of trying to go up it. And then if you think the trail is a little bit kind of boring and easy, then maybe try to go up that trail to make it a little bit harder. So like for instance, go up greens and go down blues, or go up blues and go down blacks. Um, unless you just want it to be super hard and then just go up everything and never go down, right? Obviously, everything that goes up has to come down. Everything that goes down has to come up, if you want to end up in the same spot. So we're coming up to some of the rocks, I think, a little bit that we went up. Maybe not. Maybe these are still the dirt humps. But I think we're going to be very quickly coming up to some obstacles to go down, and you're going to see how much easier it is to go down these obstacles. So you can see here what that motorcycle did is probably not too cool with him just like going out in the woods, but they do that. The other guy, who stopped for us, I mean, that was awesome. So I know that there's always like the tread lightly concept, which means like basically you want to try to leave the trail in as close to its condition as it was like when you got there, and try to do as like little damage as possible. And obviously like damages happen to the trail. I mean, after so many people drive over it, I mean there's gonna be tire prints and stuff, but still you have like this whole like tread lightly principle of trying to stay on the trail. And it seems like, I mean, I don't like want to point fingers or whatever, but it seems like Jeeps have the tendency of staying on the trails the most, and mainly just because it's like really hard to get them to go off the trail because there's so many trees and stuff. It's hard to really get around all the trees. So typically, I mean, when I'm out there, what I usually see is like motorcycles and quads are the ones that are that most frequently leave the established trail. But that's just simply because they can fit in the smaller spaces. And I'm not trying to say all motorcyclists are bad and all quad runners are bad, but I'm just saying that it's sort of that's sort of the normal. Now, I mean, like right here, I mean, like you can see the barriers are really quite liberal and really quite wide, so one would kind of expect that it would be okay to maybe go a little wider, since they were so liberal in that area with the rails. But at the same time, I mean, you do kind of realize that this is supposed to be an off-road area. It's supposed to be natural. You shouldn't necessarily have to have barriers on both sides telling you where to go. And honestly, I mean, I've been to quite a few parks and quite a few areas, and I think Uwharrie is one of the only parks that I've been to that I can think of that has these like barriers in the middle of their park. Like so, even like at AOAA, I remember they had to rope off with plastic yellow tape one of the black trails, SOB specifically, because there was killer bees on the trail, and that trail was roped off for over a month at least, and nobody ever touched the plastic. I mean, until we went over there and we were given permission to open the trail, and then we tear the plastic down. I mean, it's just like literally like the plastic caution tape. So this is obviously a established trail that I'm on right here. I know that it's like a little bit to the side or whatever. This is the same way we came up. But I mean, you can see it is very like well established. There's no signs to say like this is not the area to go. Um, so anyway, so this is the Daniel Trail, and this is the same footage of what we went over when we went up the trail. The only difference is now we are going down the trail. And you can see, I mean, how like, much more effortless this is. The other thing to keep in mind is whenever you do like a difficult trail, it's always a good idea to do an easy trail afterwards, or to try to do something easy, because people get amped up when they're kind of struggling or whatever on obstacles, and people can get kind of amped up and frustrated a little bit, and that can lead to bad things. Because like if you don't like have that little like kind of easy trail afterwards to kind of catch your breath and figure out like what's going on, you can very easily just go from like one hard trail to another hard trail to another hard trail, and you end up getting so frustrated that you start breaking stuff and it's not fun anymore. So it's always good to have like a certain pace. Now you can see here these are the rock slabs, and when we came up the rock slabs, like I said, I mean everybody stopped and everybody came up like one at a time. But here you can see, I mean, like pretty much like we got like 2 or 3 lines of Jeeps like kind of going different paths, like kind of going around each other and stuff, with no spotting, no guidance, like no assistance. It's just everything's fine. Usually downhill is easier. It's just like the basic principle. I mean, you could just as easily like roll your Jeep. It seems like if you're going uphill or downhill, if you go on the wrong line or whatever, and you go over an obstacle wrong. But it's just like a pretty good thing to be aware of. And you can see Sebastian down there shooting video, trying to get some shots of all his Jeeps coming down the rock slab. So this is like kind of like the photo opportunity I was mentioning when we came up it, to try to get a photo op of multiple Jeeps coming down it on different paths at different angles and stuff. You can get some really cool panoramic shots on the rock slab there. So I believe that that was like probably like the last really interesting section of the trail, and I believe the rest of this is going to be a little more like standard. I honestly don't remember what this delay was for, like why we stopped here, but obviously we stopped for some reason. Maybe somebody needed to change a battery in their camera or something. Um, but I know we are going to immediately start moving again. Yeah, there we go. We're moving again. Um, but as you can see, I mean, I guess we're going to uphill a little bit now, but it's still, um, we're headed out. And so at this point in the day, I think that we were initially thinking about just calling it and saying that we are done here after Daniel. However, some crew members, that's what the people call themselves, the different going coastal people, some crew members had decided that they wanted to do some more trails. So we decided that we were going to head over and do the cattle chute. So the next video after Daniel, um, next couple videos, will be us heading over toward the cattle chute. And the cool thing about us heading back over there is I'll have an opportunity to do the little washout that we had to skip, where that CJ had broken its steering, and we kind of skipped that obstacle, and we'll actually get a shot at that obstacle, which is kind of cool. So this is just about the end of the Daniel Trail. So please like and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. That would be really, really helpful to us. And we will see you guys around. And thank you for viewing the video all the way to the end. because this is the end of the Daniel Trail right here where the sign is that says not advised. Thank you.